Okay, as we're continuing with part 2 of the grade 8 paper that we're doing. So this is part 2, continuing from question 5. Let's read the question. Let me zoom. Okay, Jimmy deposits 1,500 into a savings account. How much will he have at the end of 4 years if it earns 12% simple interest? Very important, simple interest per year. So how are we going to do this question? 2 ways of doing it. We can use this formula. We call it the pain formula. So you are going to label the pain based on what you're given. Deposits 5,000, 1,500. A is what we are looking for. Interest is 12,5 over 100, which is 0,125. And how many years? 4 years. So if you're using this formula, you're just going to substitute based on this. So we're looking for the future value. So 101 times 12,5 over 100 times 4. So always the percentage given, change it into a fraction or a decimal. Then I'm going to press that on a calculator. Press that on a calculator. Okay, here's a phone. 100 bracket 1 plus 5 times 4. So you get 2,250. That's your future value. And if you're using your simple interest formula, you're going to label your PIN. You multiply 1,500 times 12,5 over 100 times 4. You get how much? 5 times 4. You get 750. And then you add, if you're looking for that, the future value, you're going to add 1,500 plus that one gives you 2,250. So whichever method you use, this one takes you straight to the answer. This one gives you the interest end. And you need to take the interest end, add it to the original amount that you put in, deposited. Okay, moving forward. Okay, so the cash deposit for a bedroom suite is 25,000. Tembi cannot pay cash for the bedroom suite and buys it on a hire purchase agreement. Very important. Hire purchase agreement, we're using the simple interest agreement. She pays 5,000 as a deposit and pays 780 per month for how many months? 36 months. So how much money does Tembi borrow? So this thing costs how much? 25,000. She pays a deposit of 5,000. So what is left? What is the balance? Balance is 20,000. So this is how much she needs if she were to settle it cash. Okay, continuing. How much money does she pay for the bedroom on hire purchase? How much is she gonna end up paying? Remember, hire purchase, she's gonna be paying for 36 months a certain amount of money. So always with the hire purchase, she's gonna pay extra. She's gonna pay with interest. So what is the present amount? Presently, how much is this person owing? 20,000. And then A is what we're looking for. The interest, are we given the interest? Oh, okay, no. Actually, there's no need for us to do the PIN or the pay. There's no need for that because we don't have the interest. They told us he's paying 780 for 36 months. So how much is he gonna pay in total amount? I'm gonna say 780 times 36. Yeah, because they told us the monthly payments, so you just multiply that together to get how much the person will be paying on her purchase. So 780 multiplied by 36 is 28,080. So this is how much person will pay on her purchase. Okay, so if we were to add, I'm not sure if the question is asking that, but if we were to add the 5,000 deposit, then in total, the total amount that this person spent on this item will be plus 5,000, 33,080. So that's what they're looking for. This is how much this will be for 36 months plus the deposit. So the total amount, everything summed up together, would be 33,080. Yes. Okay, moving along to this part. 4 pictures have been drawn below. Picture 1 has 1 heart. Picture 2, 4 hearts. Picture 3, 2, 4, 6, 7. So here there's 7. Let me use red. 7, and then picture this one has how many? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So here there are 10. There are 10. So how many will be? Picture 10 will have how many pictures? So how much are we adding now? We're adding 3 all the time. Adding 3 all the time. So picture 4 is 10. Picture 5 will be 13. Picture 6, 16, 19, 21. So picture 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 27. So yeah. Okay, are we together there? Okay, this is 32, guys. Yeah, it's 22, 22, 23, 5, 5, 26, 28. Yeah, that will be 28. Sorry about that. I missed it here. Okay, moving along. So picture 8 will have 28. Then determine the rule for the pattern. How do we get the pattern? The formula we use is this one, dn plus c. D, we write the difference, the constant difference, that number you're adding all the time. And C is T1 minus D. Then this will give you straight the answer. So the difference will be 3, because we're adding 3 all the time, plus T1. What is our first term? The first picture has 1 heart, and then minus the difference. What is the constant difference? 3. So the answer will be 3n plus negative 2, of which, remember, positive and a negative becomes a negative. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is using this formula. If you don't know it, don't worry about it. At this point, stick to what you know. This one. So 1 plus 3n minus 3. And then what is 1 minus 3? So it comes minus 2. So A stands for the first term, and D stands for the difference. So either way, it works out. This one is just straightforward. Okay, moving on. Okay, if given this is the general term for a number pattern, determine the value of the 80th term. So you want to know term number 80. So what are we going to do? Term 80 will be, in the place of n, I put 80 plus 5. So you get a mark for substitution, and you get a mark for the final answer. 5, 8. That's 2, 5. So this one is straightforward substitution. Nothing hectic there. Okay, moving along. Okay. So let's look at this question. Refer to the number present 1827. 81 here. There was a typo here. This is actually 64. So let's fix it here. Now it was actually 64. Write down the next term. So what will be the next term here? So this is term number 1, term number 2, term number 3, term number 4, term number 5. So how are we getting term number 5? You look at the relationship here. 1 and 8 and 3. This is, 27. This is term 2. And if I cube this, it will give me 8. This is term 3. If I cube this, it will give me 27. This means this will be 1 cubed. I get that. So 64 will be 4 cubed. So if I'm looking for term number 5, I will press 5 cubed, which will be 125. So you need to be able to recognize a pattern there. Then the question says, write down the general term. What is the general term? The cubing stays the same. What changes is the term number. So the term number will be n cubed. N cubed. Okay, moving along. Hence, write down the formula for the pattern. So whenever they say hence, they're trying to say use previous knowledge, previous answers that you got to solve this question. So I'm still using the pattern they gave us. It was what was the pattern? 1827. So here, 1827. I'm gonna cut this one out because of it. The other one, it's wrong. So this one is also wrong. So from this to that, they're adding 2. From 8 to 10, they're adding 2. From 27 to 9, they're adding 2. So meaning the general term for this one will be n cubed plus 2. Plus 2. We're adding 2 to the normal general term. That's what we notice there. We can test it. Take term 2. Term 2 will be 2 cubed plus 2, which is 8 plus 2, which is 10. Can you see term number 2? It's 10 in the new pattern they've formulated. Okay, so far so good. Okay, moving along. Study the table below and determine the values of A and B. The values of A and B, so look at this one. Let's look at the first one. 2 plus 3 will be 5. A equals to 20. Then how do I find A? Divide both sides. A will be how much? A will be 4. So we multiply, so times 4. So in this case, A will be times 4. We're multiplying by 4. And then how will we find B? B, we have the output, this one and that one. So we do inverse operation. When we do input rule and output. So if we're going backwards, we're going to do the inverse, additive inverse of each side. So here I'm start by 40. What is the inverse of multiplication, division? I get 10, and the opposite of that one is -3. So B will be a 7. B will be equal to 7. So don't forget that inverse, multiplicative inverse, and additive inverse. If we are looking for the input given the output. Okay, almost through, almost through, almost through. Relationship, we're given the equation, we're given the values of y, of x, we are told to find the values of y. So substitute here, if I put 2 minus 1 minus 3, minus 2 minus 3, this will be -5. 2, 0 minus 3 will be -3. And 2, 1 minus 3 will be 2 minus 3, which is -1. And the last one is 2, 2 minus 3. I hope everyone is quite familiar with what I'm doing now. I'm just substituting the values of x into the equation to find the values of y. Same input and output. So just 2 marks because of it's nothing hectic. So I have my coordinates as -1 and that. I have 0 and -3. I have 1 and -1. I have 2 and 1. Okay, I always like to pair them like that. Okay, hence, okay, draw the graph based on the set. Okay, we need to plot the coordinates. So let's see. The first one is what? -1 and 5, 0 and 3. Okay, -1 and 5. The x is -1, and the 5, it's y. So here. And the other one is 0 and -3, right there. Then where we go get the other coordinates, 1 and -3, 2 and 1. Okay. 1 and minus. What was it? Let me check again. 1 and -1. Okay. 1 and -1 will be here. And lastly, okay, the last one is 2 and 1. That's where it is. Okay, so if I were to draw the graph now, okay, something like that. Something like that. And then always write the equation of your graph. So something like that, it has to be a straight line. Remember, it's a straight line graph. So connecting the points, it should, if you have plotted everything correctly, it should add up to that. Okay, then let's do the last question. A taxi drives 10 kilometers away from the taxi rank. The line important information. He measures the distance it travels every day. Study the graph below and answer the questions that follow. Okay, usually with this one, the graph is given. So let's try to analyze the graph and see if we can answer the questions. But kilometers, kilometers are measured in hours. So let's look at the questions. Which point indicates the trip from his house to the taxi rank? Okay, a taxi driver drives away from 10 kilometers away from the taxi rank. So his house to the taxi rank will be, let me show you here, be this part here. It's showing from his house to the taxi rank, it's 10 kilometers away. Then how far did he travel between B and C? Let's calculate that one. Between B and C, what is the distance? There's no traveling. The distance is the same. So how far did he travel? So he did not move, did not travel at this time because of B to C, there's no movement. So did not travel. And the distance is the same. Distance did not change. Distance did not change. We can say stand still. There's no movement. We're talking about distance. So whenever we see a straight line like that, it's not moving. He left his house at 8 o'clock. At what time did he reach F? So let's look at, see. At F is this time. So he reaches at F after how many minutes? 100 minutes. What is 100 minutes? 100 minutes is 100 minus 60, then you're left with 40. So this is 1 hour and 40 minutes. 1 hour, 40 minutes. So if he left at 8, it's going to reach at 50 by what time? Let's say about that. It's going to 1 hour, 40 minutes. It's going to reach there by 9:40. What time did he reach? 9:40. Because F is 100 meters there. Okay, now on to the two last questions. Between which 2 points did he travel fastest? Give a reason for answer. Let's go to our graph. Between 2 points,